All right. So we're going to change the order of the presentations here. So we're going to start with retail services and with Allison Smith and Komal, is that it? Okay, yes. So we'll start that with the top of the agenda. Thank you.
All right, good morning, Chair Doherty and Commissioners. I am Allison Smith, the Retail Services Assistant Director for the record. I'm here today to present before the Commission with an agent appointment. The retail sales agent appointment is for 1009 Brownsville, and I introduce to you Kamal Singh.
Welcome.
Right, thank you. Thank you. First of all, thank you so very much for making this happen.
Actually, have what, 7 minutes? Is that way? Or do we decide 8 minutes?
I think it's 8.
8 minutes. Okay.
Shoot.
You want to keep that?
Yes. Okay.
We'll give you a warning when you have 1 minute left.
Sure.
You when you are.
Hi, my name is Komal. Friends call me Captain. In my free times, I love to play golf, trying new restaurants, new food, and then love to read books. Besides that, I have a beautiful family, myself, my wife, mom, and sister, and then have a newborn on the way, which is due any hour. Yes. And then in 2016, I got my degree in business administration in Eugene. And then since then, I've been working in a retail industry. And then I got a wonderful opportunity to work at the Gateway Liquor Store, where I got the opportunity to look at the day-to-day operations, starting from the small details to the bigger operations. Next slide, please. Coming to the business plan, so on the left-hand side, there's the current location of the liquor store, which is small and it's very hidden. And on the right-hand side, there's the proposed location, which is right on Highway 228. That's very visible with the very high traffic. Next slide, please. Here's the picture from the intersection. So this is the main intersection of the Brownsville on Highway 228. All the main businesses are right around here. So there will be high traffic, improved visibility, which will equals to increase in sales. Next slide, please. And then if we talk about the interior of the store on the left-hand side, those are the current coolers, shelving, again, which is very minimal, very small, basic. On the right-hand side, those are the proposed ones. I'll be adding three three-door coolers, a freezer for the ice, and gondola shelves and shelves all around the wall. Next slide, please. We'll be adding cameras, security system, and then a nice fancy ceiling lights to match the aesthetic of the city. Next slide, please. We'll be also adding an ATM machine and a lottery to increase the revenue of the store. And then we'll also be adding a nice big two-seater shelves. We'll be adding a chew tobacco vape. Again, the idea is to make it a one-stop shop. Next slide, please. If we talk about the exterior, we'll have a nice big liquor store sign again to match the aesthetic of the city. We'll also be adding a flags, sandwich sign to let the customer people know that we are here. And then we'll be installing cameras all around. Next slide, please. And here are the new business hours. Monday to Sunday it will be 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we'll be adding 92 hours per month. Next slide, please. And when we talk about the licensees, the bars and restaurants, so I'll be reaching out to all the newly opened restaurants and bar in the area. And my personal experience and links in the restaurants and bar, where I worked about 6, 7 years. So I'll be landing all those accounts on the store. And then we'll also be doing a weekly deliveries to all the bars and restaurants. Next slide, please. And then, and in the previous slide, I forgot to mention the numbers actually. So right now we are doing 17,509 when it comes to the bars and restaurants. By the end of the first year, the goal is to take it to 72,000 minimum, which is very much possible. Next slide, please. If we search online about the Brownsville liquor store, it comes up as a video shop, which is very confusing for the new customers. So I'll make sure that we have a nice, strong presence online. We'll also be active on Facebook, Insta, TikTok to promote all the products. And then also we'll be introducing AI to boost the sales and then streamline the inventory as well. Next slide, please. After talking to the current agent, Miss Debbie, which is a wonderful person, so I got to know that the average age of the city is about 42. And it's a farmer's town. And the alcohol preferences are beer, bourbon, and vodka. So these will be our top sellers. So I'll make sure that we have a great variety of those stored. And then we'll also be hosting a tasting events to introduce the customer to the new products. And then we'll also be on top of the specialty items. The specialty products like bundles, gift bags, and then we'll also be adding bar items as well, like juggers, stirs, RTDs. Again, the idea is to make a one-stop shop. Next slide, please. So conclusion, by the end of the first year, the sales will be double. We'll take the store to its full potential. Well, by elevating a customer experience, expanding the product visibility and availability. This plan will set the foundation for the long-term success by fully supporting OLCC goals of accessibility, rules, and regulations. And I'm ready to move forward and implement all these improvements upon approval today. The next slide, please. Again, I want to thank you. I deeply appreciate your consideration. I am excited about this opportunity and turning the dream of having a liquor store into reality. Next slide, please. And then here's the letter of preference from the desk of Mrs. Sangha, who is currently a liquor store agent in Springfield. And I'm ready for any questions that Chair.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're probably in a little bit of a hurry here. So, commissioners, questions?
Chair,
Commissioner?
congratulations on the pending birth of your child. Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Couple of questions. Where's the current location and how far away is the proposed location?
Within 1 mile of the radius.
And then are you counting on the lottery proceeds in order to double your sales? And if so, what's that process for the application for the lottery?
That's the part of the process. I mean, that's the part of the plan, but we are not fully relying on the lottery. So once we have approval here, then we'll apply for the license for the lottery. And then in the meantime, we'll continue in the change of the location, adding more products, and then adding more tobacco products.
And what is the estimated cost for the improvements and where are those funds coming from?
The total 300,000 for the property. and then another 40,000 for the improvements. So out of which 80,000 are my personal funds, and then 260 I'm pre-approved for the SB loan.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anything else, commissioners? We'd entertain a motion now.
I entertain a motion to approve store 1009. Sorry, I took my glasses off.
The motion is to approve Komal Singh as the permanent agent at store 1009 Brownsville effective December 15th, 2025.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? We take the roll, please.
Who's seconding?
Commissioner.
Thank you. Commissioner Badgepie,
Yes.
Commissioner Chow,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Villegas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. Motion passes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you so very much again.
It's going to be a birthday day.
It's a big day.
Calendar day.
Yes.
Thank you both. Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
thank you, Chair Commissioners.
Thank you.
So we'll move back to the top of the agenda and discuss some ready to drink cocktails, the privatization. So we had my apologies. I would entertain a motion to approve the October 16th, 2025 commission meeting minutes.
Chair, I would move to approve the October 16, 2025 commission meeting minutes as written.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Badgepie,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Villegas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty. Yes. Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. Okay. So now back to ready to drink cocktails. Hello.
Hello.
So let me open this up. Last month, Lisa gave a presentation on the proposal to privatize cocktails in a can. The privatization proposal has been circulated to legislatures by the Northwest Grocery Retail Association in conjunction with a small group of legislators. I understand that the privatization proposal will move forward and be introduced in the upcoming session. Oregon's way of distributing and selling distilled spirits has been in place for over 90 years. We're very proud of our homegrown model because of the many benefits it delivers to our communities across the state. This proposal would interrupt 9 decades of success and profoundly disrupt Oregon's model. As stewards of this system, I firmly believe we must oppose any step toward privatization and also express this to the legislature. During last month's presentation, staff highlighted a number of troubling elements about the privatization proposal, which include there'd be less revenue for the state and our counties and cities that rely on us for all of their services. Between 2020 and 2025, our system generated $11.4 million from the sale of cocktails in a can for communities across the state. If the privatization proposal would have been in place over this same period, it would have only raised $7.7 million. So that's a 32% decrease and a loss of $3.7 million. This will result in higher costs to the state. So this proposal would put a new higher tax on cocktails in a can. In place, this would lead to a higher administrative cost for the state. OLCC's online privilege tax system would need to be upgraded at the cost of approximately $1.2 million. That was on top of hiring new staff, which would cost approximately $600,000 over the next 2 years. As we get more clarity on the exact legislation, the cost could be even higher. There's less protection for public health if this were to pass. hot topic for me. It's one of the most important aspects of our system as it supports public health in all these communities. This is true not only of the money that we generate for substance abuse and prevention and treatment, but the way our compliance and licensing tools help prevent underage access to alcohol. The privatization proposal would make this mission much more difficult. Oregon liquor stores responsibly provide adults access to distilled spirits. Privatization would dispense with this protection as grocery stores lack controlled entry and age-restricted areas, and as a result would be much easier for minors to gain access to cocktails in the can. There's less choice for Oregonians. There are also clear indications that the canned cocktail market is saturated. As the market has grown, more national manufacturers have entered and have started to crowd out Oregon-based distillers. Privatization would further accelerate this trend as larger manufacturers would push local distilleries off the shelves. That's we've seen in the privatization in Washington. A false promise of new revenue. Finally, and most seriously, the proposal makes the false promise of new revenue based on flawed economics. As staff noted, the privatization proposal assumes a 180% volume increase in the first year. Oregonians would have to drink an additional 5.2 million cocktails in a can to realize this increase. Given current trends in alcohol consumption, this is wildly unrealistic. I understand that we have an analysis from Pennsylvania's experience with cocktails in a can that provides more evidence of the unrealistic numbers at the heart of the privatization proposal. Trish and Lisa, would you please fill us in on that?
Thank you, Commissioner Doherty. My name is Lisa Bertram, for the record, Distilled Spirits Program Director here with Trish Hagan, Chief Financial Officer. So we're, this is about Oregon, but we're here to talk about Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania did something similar back in 2024. And we looked, got some information then, but they're a control state partner of ours. So they're a control jurisdiction, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, PLCB. They do control liquor and wine also. So that's kind of part of this. But they did something similar to this in 2024. So that's what we're going to kind of get into now. So we believe it has some similarities to what is going on in Oregon, and the results of this, I think, are the important. So Pennsylvania was called Act 86. Essentially, it permitted the retail sale of ready-to-drink spirits or ready-to-drink cocktails. RTDC is what they call them, by licensees. So licensees would be similar to us, grocery stores. They also added other off-premise licensees, such as convenience stores, big box stores. The RTDs we're talking about are the same as we're talking about here. So 475 milliliters or smaller, and then 0.5% to 12.5 ABV. That's 1 to 25 proof, really. So these are liquor. This act also defined RTDCs as liquor. So that is very, out front, is that these are liquor products. They also had to put in a license for these. So the entities that were, selling, like, let's say beer and wine to go, we're not actually selling liquor. So they put in a liquor license essentially for these folks to get, with a fee, $2,500 fee, and then a renewal charge of 2% of the sales. Essentially, that was the cost of the products purchased over the past year. And then the PLCB retained the distribution role for the licensees, so they held on to the wholesale part of that. They were just distributing to more retailers. And we believe that's similar to what is happening today. So this really was a privatization of these retail sales for cocktails in a can, which are defined as liquor. And then this all started, the sales of this started in September of 2024. Licensing and things happened right before that. So how this changed the retail experience in Pennsylvania, it was just an expansion. So you can see there were 575 state liquor stores. In the pie chart, the fine wine and good spirit stores are the PLCB liquor stores. There are 575 of those. And just to remind you, there's 285 Oregon liquor stores. So that was in Pennsylvania, is 1 per every 17,000 or so adults. After this act went in, they added 1,487 additional licensees. So that included a grocery store, 527, those convenience stores, 834, mass merchandisers, which are gonna be like the big box stores, and then hotels and restaurants. So there's a thing in this act that says if you had on-premise sales for this, there's a special license in Pennsylvania for hotels. But they could also get RTDs to sell on-premise to those customers coming in. So it created this off-premise license for to-go sales, but also created an on-premise license for some entities that only had beer and wine. They could then get this special license and now sell ready-to-drink cocktails defined as liquor. So they had to get this special liquor license to do that. So after all of that, it was 2,062 total outlets for these sales, one for every 4,810 Pennsylvania adults. So this was a 260% increase in the retail outlets for this product. It's similar to Oregon in that way, is that, you know, we're saying it's 285 liquor stores. The original proposal we saw had 792 added grocery stores only. I didn't include convenience stores or other entities. And that was if you add that to our current liquor stores, a 280% increase. So very similar in the numbers of increase. And I'm gonna hand it actually over to Trish to talk about what that looks like on the revenue side for Pennsylvania and what really they found out after this experiment.
Thanks, Lisa. So in Pennsylvania, the 260% increase in outlets generated increases in sales and volume, but their increases were minimal. Sales increased by only 7% and volume by 15%. So this is far, far below the 180% proposed growth that we saw in the proposal from Northwest Grocers. And you can see the difference in the chart there. And I want to highlight the dotted line. That's what represents the proposed growth. And that the two solid lines are the actuals in Pennsylvania. So I believe that the Pennsylvania case confirms the assessment of our proposal that we offered previously. The forecast for the potential growth in sales of cocktails in a can is just unrealistic. More importantly, it also means it can't deliver on the revenue increases that were promised. And that's what I think truly hits home for us. So Lisa, if there was anything else you would like to add?
I think this whole, you know, Pennsylvania does also highlight some of those other costs that we were talking about, right? So they had to impart a new license. The distribution model then would change too, right? So if PLCB was, you know, used to distributing to a certain number of these entities, you know, now they're adding different entities that they're distributing to. So I think it highlights a couple of different areas. Obviously, Pennsylvania is a different state than Oregon. It's much bigger. Revenues are different. They're also distributing wine. But I think it's a good tale that we can look at to see, you know, what's the reality of this. And then, you know, the other thing that we know for sure is that liquor sales are declining across the country. There was just Pennsylvania put out an article that their liquor sales are declining. So these are, you know, all of these things combined, I think, paint a picture of what we think the reality of this is. And, you know, if we look at it from the Oregon side, it's similar proposal. I think it gives us some good things to look at. So with that, any questions on RTDs or this in particular? Yeah.
So in this study, was there any data about whether the increase of 7% or 15% then cannibalized other sales? I mean, in the aggregate, right, the introduction of this new or the accessibility, the increase in the accessibility of RTDs, right? What impact did that make on craft beer or wine or other similar products?
Right, so I don't know the exact numbers from Pennsylvania, but this is similar to other states, is that when RTDs first came on the market, they were originally cannibalizing those other sectors. So we know craft beer and craft wine have all been kind of declining in the last 5 years or so. And so I don't have those numbers from Pennsylvania, but I'm sure that I could get them and they would probably paint that same picture, you know, as RTDs are going up, these other areas are continuing to decrease.
Commissioner?
Chair, if I may, you made reference to it, but do you have any idea about how much of an increase in administrative costs it was for the state to have to do all these changes and implement, deal with more people and more
Right,
entities?
yeah, I don't actually have that cost, but I, again, could probably get it. Pennsylvania's a good partners with us, and so we could definitely get that number and just see what does that look like. They did put in that license cost, and I think some of that's probably to offset some of the admin costs, but we could definitely get that.
Commissioner Bashpai? have a
Thank you,
question?
Chair. Do we have any information on how the privatization impacted local distillers in Pennsylvania?
I don't have that today, no, but I can find that out as well.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? I would entertain a motion here that there's going to be three parts to the motion. One is for us to take an official position for or against, and then to direct me to write a letter to the legislature, and then to get a market analysis. Okay.
I move that the board take an official position in opposition of the legislative proposal for the privatization of ready-to-drink cocktails. Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
A little more discussion or just
Sure.
general comment. I mean, I think privatization philosophically oftentimes sounds like a good idea, especially in communities that consider themselves more conservative and sort of get government out of it. But I just think it should be noted that the trade-off in this case is really significant to the detriment based on everything we've learned. We know the state's already struggling to provide really basic services like law enforcement, and to have, that's what really moves me, is that I don't see a huge benefit for our basic small businesses. And certainly not for our cities, counties, and states that are trying to provide basic services without then going to the taxpayers with some alternative tax proposal, which are very unpopular. So I just think it's, while conceptually, sometimes I like the term privatization, I'm very pro-business, but in this case, I just think the trade-offs are too steep in terms of community safety. And then again, what will then the legislature have to come up with to raise the revenue to replace it? That makes me nervous. So I just wanted to say that publicly.
Thank you, Commissioner. Very well put. Any other comments? Take the roll, please.
Commissioner Bajpai,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Molinas.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty.
Yeah.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. And also entertain a motion giving me homework too. Everybody would like to make a motion?
Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
I move that Chair Doherty draft a letter to the Oregon legislature stating the commission's official position in opposition for the privatization of ready-to-drink cocktails.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Take the roll, please.
Commissioner Bajpai,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Molinas.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yeah.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. And also entertain a motion to direct staff to present financial and market analysis. Commissioners?
Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner, for stepping up.
I move to direct OLCC staff to present a financial and market analysis of privatization of ready-to-drink cocktail and its cost and present it at the December commission meeting.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Bajpai,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Molinas.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty.
Yeah.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. And it passes. Thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation. That was excellent. Very good. So Retail services. Gonna do a construction update? Lisa Burton, our director of Distilled Spirits Program.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, again, my name is Lisa Bertram, Distilled Spirits Director. This is my favorite part of the commission meeting. Hope it's yours too. The Metal Arc Distribution Center construction update. There's a lot going on site out there. So go to the next slide. So this is what it looked like last month in October. So you can see the tilt walls are up. Go to the next one. This is what it looks like today. So you can see we've got curbing in that whole front section. That's where the front office is. So there's a lot going on. That whole front section is, again, the main entrance, and they'll be working on that a lot over the next month here. So this is, we get a weekly spotlight report, which is pretty cool. So it shows like what's going on site, what they've completed, what's active and ongoing and new and upcoming. We also take a weekly field trip out to the site in Canby. So every Wednesday we go out and we have an owner, architect, and construction crew meeting. So it's really all the different entities that are part of the build get together. We go through an agenda, what's upcoming, so we understand where things are going. Next slide.
I see.
So right now, roof structure. So the entire roof structure is in place, both in the main warehouse as well as over the office area. So what they're doing now is they're drying in the roof. It's been a bit rainy, so they'll dry it in, essentially make sure it's all dry, and then they put a temporary membrane over the top of it. That's waterproof. So that's going to stay on there until they can put the roof on. The permanent roof, it'll just go right on top of that. So what it allows it to do is just be waterproof as we get into the rainy season. All of that's nearing completion now. There are some sections of the office roof that are still going into place. And then as they do that, now that the roof is all in place, they'll start taking down those structures that were holding up the tilt panels. So there was a bunch of supports holding those up. So you won't see those anymore. This picture also shows the roof hatches. So we have these skylights. So half of them are fire hatches that will actually open in a fire. So they do serve multiple purposes. One is natural light, but the other is fire. This is what it looks like inside the building today. Looking from one to the other, they do have temporary lights in here, but currently right now they're running all the cable trays up in the ceiling for all the different electrical stuff that's going in. And then they're also working on essentially getting all of those. You can see in the very background, there's still some of those stabilizers for the tilt panels. They're taking those down now. We did get to go up on the roof, which was fun. So the picture on the left is looking from the roof over to Columbia. I've heard that you can see Mount Hood on a great day, which is awesome. And then on the right, that white is that membrane that goes on. This is where you can kind of see those roof patches as well. And this is what those look like. So there's two different kinds of skylights. The one on the right is actually the fire hatch. So this will actually like open up in the middle. And then we have ones that are all one continuous piece, like one, they look like little caterpillars, but those are actually the skylights. So this will actually open in the event of an incident. And then this white it goes over all the plywood and stuff. And then there's a section of like foam that goes on top of this, and then the permanent roof will go on after that. And that's all scheduled to happen over the next 5 months or so, depending on rain. So essentially, as soon as they get dry days, they can start installing the roof. But this membrane will keep everything dry on the inside of the building until such time they can.
Were you up in the roof taking these pictures?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's like this little egress thing for the workers. I love heights, so this is really fun. And then, yeah, just to see all of the part of the roof at this point still didn't have the white membrane on it. So we got to see the plywood and the way they get it all.
Wow.
Which is kind of wild because if you're walking on the plywood, like you're 50 feet off the ground on the inside. Yeah, it's very fun.
That's the part you like, is that?
Oh, yeah. I love all of this. I think it's great. So that's the roof. They're also doing grading and paving. So the dock apron is done, a service road, and then they're continuing paving around. The dock apron is really, when you go up to the dock, it has a slant kind of downwards. And then so all that stuff kind of runs. There's a drain along the edge. So this edge is where you can see they're installing the dock levelers. These are the dock doors on the backside of the warehouse. The dock apron is in on both sides now. The first time I went out, it was only on one side, but this is, you can essentially see, the picture on the left is the first couple doors, and then the picture on the right is the last couple doors. So it's a very long, dock. The inbound doors on the left, and then the, outbound doors on the left, inbound doors on the right. And all of that's gonna be, it's all paved now. We have an asphalt dock apron now, which is not ideal. So this will be great for, I mean, it's for wear and tear. So very excited about this.
What's wrong with the asphalt? Why is that?
It just gets tore up a lot from
Okay.
the truck. So then we have to, essentially like fill in the holes and.
Yeah.
So this is the site work progress on the paving and grading. This was really that gray part, that's the surface road they're using now, that's all paved. All of the curbs are in as well, that's the blue outline. That orange part is concrete paving, that's the dock apron. That would be on the inbound side, and then the one on the outbound side is done now as well, which is on the left side of that. Next one. And then this shows their plan for paving. So all of the gray is paved. That orange strip will be paved this week. It's called First Lift, which is just essentially the first layer of paving that protects the site. It's going to protect it over the winter. There's going to be big trucks on it all winter, essentially coming in and out. Those trucks are also going into the building at this point, and so it protects the building inside from all that dirt and stuff that's going to be on those trucks. And then the second lift will be the permanent paving they'll add on top of this. So this is really just kind of the base layer. That gray stuff is the base layer. The dock aprons, those are the final layers for those. But everything else will get another layer of concrete in the spring. That'll be the permanent structure. Last thing they're doing is the office area, which is that front piece, and then the interior warehouse spaces. So all the steel framing, they're still drying in the building itself. So for a while there was just, plywood, and it rained all kinds of stuff in the building. So drying out the building and then sealing the slab. So this picture on the right is them actually grinding and sealing the slab. So they'll put a good seal on top of it before they get anything else into the building, and that'll prepare the slab for everything that sits on top of it. This is the front office building. It looks very small compared to the rest of the warehouse, but it's 13,000 square feet. So on the left, you can see kind of the front looking of it. And then we got to go inside of it, walk around, kind of see where stuff is. That's on the right-hand side. And you can see they haven't started framing yet, but essentially they'll start, all that framing will go in over the next couple months here. And then interior framing has started. So this is the framing for the electrical room, the fire pump room, and then our facility workshop. So we have three different workshops inside of here for our facilities folks, and then also for warehouse maintenance folks to work on equipment, things like that. So all that framing is going in. And then this is also where the electrical room is. Which is great because it's just full of little stub ups everywhere. There's like so many of them. So this is happening on the inside of the warehouse. And then this is kind of the back. If you look to the left, that's going to be the front of the warehouse. So that's where those workshops and stuff are. And then this whole section is where that membrane was, and you can see it's almost completely dry. And then this is what it looked like a week ago when it was still being dried in. So parts of it were still very wet. So that's really what this whole next week or two is for, is to get the entire facility dry. And then from this angle, you can see the shear wall in the middle of the warehouse. That's that one big tilt panel in the middle. That's for seismic, to keep it essentially stable in the act of an earthquake. And then, like I said, they're taking all of the stabilizers down now that the roof is in place and all kind of, anchored into where it needs to be. That's the next step. And then here's what, again, that's kind of that same view. This is what it looks like today. You can see all the way to the end of the warehouse, which is pretty cool. We'll start putting stuff in it soon, once all of the sections of the slab are ground and sealed. That's it. Yeah. So, any questions?
Commissioners,
Was that a full-length container 3 slides back? Inside the container that you see on the semi?
Oh, yeah. So this is a 347,000 square foot build. So like I mean, it's crazy. Like trucks will just drive into this thing and they look tiny. Like, yeah. But yeah, there's always machinery in there. They had like a crane in there the other day, but the ceilings are, I mean, it's a 50-foot ceiling, so.
Oh.
36 clear height.
I have another question as
Yeah.
it pertains to the roof. The roof looks like it's completely flat. Is there a slope at any?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, it has multiple slopes in it. If you go forward, maybe one,
Back or forward?
go this. Oh, go that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
that.
I'd say you can tell a lot better on the office roof in particular, it goes like this, right?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, the big roof has a big slope in the middle, but then it slopes in other directions toward the drains. So, there's a couple spouts on the back and then a couple on the front too. So it's
Are there any water collections for irrigation?
not for irrigation. So all the water that falls on the site is supposed to be kept on the site. So we have underground retention, like pods for all the water. So it's gonna be diverted, like essentially from the roof down a downspout into those collection chambers.
And can they be used for fire suppression or irrigation, or what happens to it?
So it goes back into the ground eventually. It just gets filtered out and then down. So no, we're not reusing water on site that falls. Good question.
Wow, what's our completion date? right now?
So this will all be done late 2026.
Okay. Awesome.
We're
So,
that's the idea. So we do have our construction schedule. So far we're on schedule as far as there's like the building piece, and I talked about this before, and then the material handling system piece. And so those in conjunction together will be done.
late 26 for
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Excellent, as always.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
So next, we want to talk about stipulated settlement agreements. I think the commissioners have been satisfied with the materials that you provided for us. So I appreciate very much the work you're doing. So Kelsey, are you going to take us through this? And then we can-
First Chairperson. For the record, my name is Kelsey Snella. I'm with the Administrative Hearings Division here at OLTC. I have two stipulated settlement agreements for your consideration today. One is an alcohol and one marijuana. And I'm here if you have any questions.
Commissioners? All right, so entertain a motion. First for the, first for the marijuana.
The first day alcohol?
Is the alcohol, oh, I'm sorry, alcohol is first. Go ahead. Thank you.
Chair, I move to ratify the stipulated settlement agreement for Lucky as proposed by staff.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Batchpike,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus,
Yes.
Commissioner Minke, Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. So now I would entertain a motion for marijuana.
Sure.
Yes.
I move to ratify the stipulated settlement agreement for substance as proposed by staff. Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Batchpike,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus,
Yes.
Commissioner Minke.
Yeah.
Commissioner Warren.
Yeah.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. Those motions have passed.
Thank you so much, Commissioners.
Thank you very much. Excellent presentation.
Thank you. Every time.
We're going to have some discussion around rules.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right.
Good morning, Chair Doherty and Commissioners. For the record, my name is Nicole Blase, and I'm the Rules Coordinator for the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission. I am here to present 5 rulemaking actions for your consideration today. We have 4 rule packages and 1 individual rule change for Division 4 camp communications that applies to both the alcohol and marijuana packages. But before I begin, Amanda Borat is here and she's going to give a little more detail on the rulemaking process for the packages that you'll be voting on today.
Good morning. For the record, my name is Amanda Vorup. I'm Director of Education, Health and Policy here at OLCC. And just kind of wanted to give you a quick overview of a couple of rules that were changed as a result of the public comment period. And so I think before I start, I need to give a big thank you to our staff here at OLCC. This was a lot of work. We had quite a few bills that passed this past legislative session, other changes that needed to be made. And it was really like all hands on deck, basically, as soon as legislative session was out.
There's only 900 pages.
It was short, 900 pages to wrap up the year.
And so when we talk about the public comment period, that's really the actual formal public comment period. But public comment happens throughout the process. I mean, when these bills are being passed, we listen to the legislative testimony, we listen to the stakeholders that testify in hearings. So we're hearing the whole time what people want, what's being passed and why the language is what it is. And then with things that aren't part of legislation, we hear from our stakeholders throughout the year, whether it be emails or phone calls, what people want, how we can help them run their businesses better. And so a lot of the rules are based on public comments from the beginning. And then as part of the rulemaking process, we have a rules advisory committee. And so they look at the rules in draft form and are able to provide comment at that time during the committee meetings. Then staff goes back, takes those comments and basically refines the rules before they go to the public notice. And so the public notice is then when we have the public hearing and then the public comment period. And then after that's over, that's when the rules come to you. And so we wanted to take a moment just to kind of talk about a couple of things that we did change based on public comment, but then also highlight that not everything can be changed. So we're bound to what is the law. OLCC can't change the law. What we can do is write rules with the authority that the law gives us. And so we do receive comments that want us to do things that are completely outside of the scope of what the agency can do. And we realize that, we understand that people want somebody to do something, but it's not always the OLCC that can actually do that. So we wanted to highlight some things that we could do. And then also, let you know, I mean, you have your packet, so you have all the information, but on our website, we have a rulemaking tab. And so the public can also see the presiding officer's report, which is a summary of the changes that are made in the rule packages. And they can also see all of the public comments. So it's a very transparent process. Anybody who's interested in what we're hearing can go to our website and they can go ahead and see that as well. So next slide, Lauren. So this is probably the biggest example of what can change because of public comment. So the hemp product registration rules actually went through 2 public notice periods. And the reason for that was because of public comment. Initially, we had set the fee at $420. So the fee for this program actually pays for administration of the program. So the fees have to cover the costs of the staff to run the program. So there was a fiscal analysis done. It came out that it was going to be $420 per product that was registered. That number did not sit well with the public and our stakeholders. And so they asked us to look at that again, basically. And at the same time, they wanted to be able to have a smaller registration fee if they wanted to make a change to their product during the annual registration. So an example would be if you had a strawberry gummy that you were registering, and then you wanted to make an orange gummy as well halfway through the year, you could pay an additional cost, $25, to add that to your registration. So you didn't have to pay the $420 again. So we came back after that public comment period and reevaluated the fees with the idea that we could have this amendment registration fee as well. And we're able to change that fee to $400 for a product registration and a $25 amendment fee. So that was, I mean, a prime example of changing things for public comment. So we went twice to comment for that, which is one of the reasons the packet was so long, because you had 2 public notice periods in there. Next slide, please. And then also with the, in the original rack for the hemp product registration, people had requested that they would be able to have several products under one registration. So kind of back to the gummy example, if you have a strawberry gummy, a cherry gummy, a watermelon gummy, all the same thing, you know, you could actually have those under one registration. If you had something like a gummy and a cookie, you would need a registration for each of them. So this just allows people that have the same product, just basically different flavors, have one registration. Slide. So for the cannabis bill and technical rules, we actually changed quite a few things after the public comment period. And things that had, that the industry requested. One of the big things was allowing deliveries. And when I say deliveries, I mean business to business deliveries. So this would allow more realistic deliveries to Eastern Oregon in most cases is what we're thinking about. So we have businesses that are in Eastern Oregon, all over Oregon, but you know, we have, if you're in Portland and you need to go over to Eastern Oregon, this gives you time. You can stop in Pendleton, you can go there, you can stop in Bend, maybe you go to Medford. It gives people more time to actually be able to do their business and transfer items to each other. Also removes a restriction we had prior that if you were going to take a big delivery to a retailer, you had to basically put it into the tracking system 24 hours in advance. And that really hindered people's ability to change orders if they needed to. So if you have this 24 hours in advance, you're going to a retailer, the retailer calls you 3 hours before you leave and says, oh, I want to order more. You couldn't do that. So this really just allows them to act more like a normal business as far as transferring to other businesses. And then also updated the amount that people are allowed to transport at one time when they're going from business to business transfers. And this really goes along with the time. You have more time, you're allowed to go out, you'll be able to make more stops, do more deliveries. So in that case, you should be able to have more product. The industry did want us to do virtual manifests rather than paper manifests. But at this time, we did leave paper manifests as a requirement, just because of, as you know, a lot of places in Oregon, you may not have cell coverage, and we wouldn't want, it just seems safer that people would have a piece of paper in case they were pulled over or questioned about what they have in their car. Next slide, please. This actually, so this has to do with Senate Bill 558, which allows licensees to go to basically trade events where they can give samples to one another, and then they can also sell product to one another. So this is just licensee to licensee and their employees. It's not the general public. And there were limits that were in law, but we could go a little bit higher. It was like a minimum. We must allow at minimum this. And so we originally started at the minimum, and then we were able to increase that a little bit after the public comment. And next slide. And this is the same kind of, so this has to do with samples. So if you're a processor and you're making new cookies, for example, you can give your employees what are called quality control samples. So they're able to like try it, see if it works, see if they like it, I guess, or if it works. And so those types of quality control samples don't need to be tested because it's really something that you're trying to see if it works and if people like it. It's not something you're actually putting into manufacturing at that point in time. Other samples that are given, like trade samples to employees or to other licensees, those need to be tested because those are things that are in production. And then also, the samples, we changed those as well. So, the samples that are in production, that you're giving to other licensees and that you're giving to other employees, we allow them to have a packaged unit sale for those type of things, just for it to be easier for them to actually like be able to sample the full product rather than like just like one pre-roll. If the pre-rolls come in, then it would be like a pack of pre-rolls. And that's it. So happy to answer any questions. And I also have staff here in the room and online if you have specific questions about any of the roll packages.
Cheers. Okay. I guess we can move to motion. Can we?
Sorry.
Yes.
Sure. Can I ask about the bottle bill a little bit?
Yeah.
And I appreciate all the work you've done, and 900 pages is a lot. Have we explored exactly what limits we can put on applications for sites for bottle redemption? I mean,
Yeah, Jim's here.
We have Jim Helget, our bottle bill
okay.
specialist. He can go into more detail.
Good morning, Chair Doherty and Commissioners. For the record, Jim Helget and Program Manager for OLCC, supporting the redemption centers and Oregon's bottle bill. And maybe before I answer the question, Commissioner, Chair, if I may, just give a brief history on how we got
Please
to
do.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very helpful.
So earlier this year in the 2025 legislative session, there were 8 bills introduced relating to Oregon's bottle bill. And Senate Bill 992 pulled in pieces from some of those bills into an omnibus package. OLCC held a neutral position on the bill throughout the legislative process. It was heard in the Senate Energy Environment Committee. It passed overwhelmingly through both chambers, was signed into law on June 3rd, 2025 with an emergency clause. So this board quickly held a special commission meeting on June 5th, 2025, and adopted the temporary rules. And then over the summer, staff embarked on the permanent rulemaking process, which included what Amanda spoke about earlier, which is the Rules Advisory Committee work, the public hearing, and the public comment period. All of those comments are summarized in the presiding officer's report in today's commission meeting materials. So we did explore, to answer the question, a lot of that and what goes into the application. And with this bill being passed with an emergency clause, there's been some overlap with rulemaking and operative dates of the bill. There was many provisions in the bill. Some of them were effective immediately and others phased in with operative dates. And so we can have this overlap where we're in temporary rulemaking with authority to accept application for an alternative access redemption center, which is allowed in the law. And so there's some feedback that maybe there's a potential site that's been identified in Commissioner Glenn's area, and the Hosford, Abernathy, and the Brooklyn Neighborhood Associations are very engaged. And I'm sure providing some feedback around concerns about that location. And so that's separate from alternative access redemption centers generally in the city of Portland, and more tied to with the public comment on a specific address, if that helps.
Yeah, it does help. My concern is that, are we voting today to essentially tie our own hands when we get an application? Or is there some limits that we could put on this so that we don't have to rubber stamp? Because I don't really want to be a rubber stamp for what is a currency for addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Have we fully explored that?
We raised those concerns. Yes, those concerns have been raised and we've looked at them. The language in Senate Bill 992 is pretty specific on what's required for OLCC as the administrator, in that redemption centers have a may approve clause and alternative access redemption centers have a shall approve clause. So there is the legislative intent for this to happen and prove its that it can be effective.
So we have to approve it.
The bill
With the shall
states, OLCC does not have to approve it. The decision is delegated to the administrator, but the bill is specifically different in that it has a shall.
So if I understand that correctly, if I can.
Go ahead.
If it meets certain criteria, then we have to approve it. We shall approve it
Yeah.
And-
under their guidelines.
And there's no looking at that criteria.
Based on public comments around in the comment period, the theme was generally specific to that specific location. And one of the suggestions, kind of the theme was to establish a rule that would not allow a redemption center to operate within 500 feet of a neighborhood or a school. And looking at the 27 existing redemption centers, 20 of the 27 would be in violation of that rule. So that was not one that we could adopt. One thing that's also important to note is there is a requirement that was brought into 992 that the applicant must share their plan for community engagement with the state senator and state representative. And that has taken place with Senator Taylor and Representative Nose in the area. And that's the applicant and the sponsoring distributor cooperative, OBRC. And so they're working right now with good neighbor agreements with the neighborhood associations. And they're also, they put out a 9-page FAQ. I don't know if you received that. Yeah, we'll make sure you get a copy of that. And inside of that, they call out the commitment around the code of conduct from the Grounds Corps Association, People's Depot, and also commit to a $500,000 annual investment through the Portland Police Bureau's Department of Behavioral Health. So they'll have more monitoring and resources around that center as part of the agreement.
So is there no way that we can, I noted that traffic studies needed to be done. Can we influence that in some way? You know, thinking about this particular site, traffic is terrible. There's a MAX line there. There's a train that's right there.
Yeah, I think that could be looked at, especially inside of the permitting process with City of Portland for that location as it gets, if it is approved, you know, if everything happens, it comes to fruition through the permitting process. I think that the Portland Bureau of Transportation could look at traffic impact studies.
Okay, so I just want to be clear then, there's nothing more that we can do and we'll just have to approve these sites?
The next step is if OLCC receives an application, which we have not to date received an application for any alternative access redemption center, but if OLCC receives that, we require a 30-day public comment period where we hear from all of the folks about the specific proposal. And so that the legislative requirement to share the community engagement plan with the senator and representative in front of OLCC receiving the application is a good step, because we've seen it in other areas where those conversations are best to be had before the public comment period. And those are taking place now. And so, but if we receive an application at that time, inside that comment window, we'll hear from folks that will make OLCC have a clearer picture of who is in support and what the opposition specifically is. And, you know, if there's things that haven't been addressed in a good neighbor agreement or something like that. So at that time, we'll take all of that feedback for the decision to approve or deny the application.
Any other comments, questions? So I would then entertain the motion.
Chair Doherty,
Yes.
I apologize for interrupting, and commissioners, I will need to do a final action motion for each rule package.
Okay,
I'll need to go through the 4 rule packages
Okay,
And the last individual rule, we unfortunately can't group them all together. So I'll start with,
thank you.
sure, the 2025 alcohol housekeeping and technical rules package. The Oregon Legislature passed Senate Bill 871 during the 2025 legislative session, which contained several provisions that require agency rulemaking to implement. The topics which require OLCC rulemaking are individual history reports and other ownership and operational control requirements for licensees, manufacturer licensee record-keeping requirements, retail licensee requirements when receiving shipments from direct to retailer permittees, and update rules to modernize licensee contact information in line with CAMP, the new online licensing system. Answer any questions for the alcohol rules package.
Any questions? We're gonna vote on these each one. I entertain a motion for the alcohol housekeeping and technical rules package.
Sure, I can make that motion if you'd like.
Commissioner
I move to amend OAR 845-005 through 0312, 845-005-0450, 845-006-0301, 845-006-0401, and 845-006-0475, effective January 1st, 2026.
Second.
Moved and second. Any questions, comments? Take the roll, please.
Commissioner Badgepie,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Melitas.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yeah.
Chair Gordon.
Yes.
All right, great. Next, we have the bottle bill rules package, which we can continue conversation or answer any further questions if you'd like. The 2025 Oregon Legislature passed Senate Bill 992, which directs the OLCC to develop rules for and to approve qualifying applications to provide alternative access redemption centers that provide bottle redemption access to individuals who return bottles on a daily or near daily basis. These redemption centers may not refuse to pay the refund value of less than 350 beverage containers by any one person during one day and provide hand counting of up to 50 beverage containers for one person in one day. Senate Bill 992 also requires the OLCC to establish alternative access in low-impact convenience zones and adjust hours of operation of bottle redemption centers in various zones. Senate Bill 992 was effective upon passage, and many of its provisions had an operative date of October 1st, 2025, which required the OLCC to pass temporary rules to implement. The commission approved temporary rules at its June 5th, 2025 meeting, which will expire on December 1st, 2025. After reviewing input from the Rules Advisory Committee, public testimony and comment, commission staff proposes to adopt and amend the temporary rules to become permanent.
Commissioners, questions? Comments?
Just a comment. I think there's a concern that's that it might appear that the commission has much more discretion than they really do. And I just think it should be noted for the public if they're watching that this gives the commission essentially no discretion over where these are located, only a process by which we have to sort of approve them. And so we really got kind of legislatively written into a corner with it. And so I just hope that anyone that's watching understands it's sort of a faux discretion, that we really don't have any.
I would echo that sentiment. That was very well put. We really have been painted into a corner. I'm going to be voting no on those grounds. I don't like rubber stamping anything, and I just won't.
Other comments, questions? Entertain a motion for the bottle bill rules package. Mr. Torres, you want?
Thank you, Chair. I do move to amend OAR 845-020-0005, 0016, and 0020, 0025, 0027, and 0035, and to adopt OAR 845-020, 0028, 0029, 0033, 0034, effective December 2nd, 2025.
Have a second? Moved and seconded. Any discussion, comments? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Vashpai,
Oh, yes.
Commissioner Chowry,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
No.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty, Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. That passes.
Did I say Commissioner Hayes?
No.
No.
Sorry, Commissioner
No.
Hayes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you. That was a tough one. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, Commissioner, for voicing our concerns. All right, for the.
Yes, we will move on to hemp, final action for the 2025 hemp product registry rules package. The Oregon Legislature passed House Bill 4121, 2024 Oregon Laws, Chapter 16, during the 2024 Oregon legislative session, which, among other things, directs the OLCC to establish a registry for hemp products for sale to consumers in Oregon. A person within or outside the state responsible for the manufacture, packaging, or distribution of an industrial hemp product must, prior to selling, transferring, or delivering to the consumer or to a retailer in this state for purposes of retail sale, register the product with the OLCC and label the product in accordance with OLCC requirements. This requires OLCC to adopt new rules in Division 26 related to definitions for the hemp product registry, labeling of hemp items by product type, registration requirements, including fees and annual renewal, civil penalties for violations of the law and rules, and embargo and seizure of hemp items. To address these statutory requirements, staff have conducted a two focused advisory committee meetings with industry and public health partners to develop the rules. To accommodate the hemp product registry in Division 26, OLCC must also rename Division 26 to Cannabis Concentration Limits and Hemp Product Registry. And we have Anthony here to answer any hemp-related questions.
Commissioners, questions? Comments? Okay. I would entertain a motion for the hemp product registry.
Chair, I would move to adopt 845-026-6000, 845-026-6010, 845-026, 6020, 845-026, 6030, 845-026, 6040, 845-026, 6050, 845-026, 6060, 845-026, 6070, 845-026, 6080, 845-026, 6090, 845-026, 6100, 845-025, 6105, 845-026, 6110, and 845-026, 6120, and to rename Division 26 to Cannabis Concentration Limits and Hemp Product Registry, effective Jan 1, 2026.
Moved and seconded. Comments, questions? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Vashpai,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Next, we have final action for the 2025 marijuana legislative and technical package. The Oregon Legislature passed several bills during the 2025 Oregon legislative session, which require agency rulemaking to implement. Further, the agency must also undertake rulemaking to respond to changes within the industry and consider whether technical adjustments are necessary. Any questions?
Commissioners? All right, I would entertain a motion.
Chair, I'll move to amend OAR 845-025-1030, 845-251-1090, 845-025-115, 845-025-1135, 845-025-1145, 845-025-1175, 845-025-1180, 845-025-1190, 845-025-1230, 845-025-1260, 845-025-1300, 845-025-1330, 845-025-1335, 845-025-1450, 845-025-2020, 845-025-2840, 845-025-3215, 845-025-7000, 845-025-7030, 845-025-7120, 845-025-7700, and 845-025-8520, and to repeal OAR 845-025-1360, effective Jan 1, 2026.
Oh.
I will not do that again.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
Thank you.
Any
I
discussion?
should have just put the last four numbers for you to read. I apologize. I will do that next time. It's a little extra. Okay, last but not least, we
We gotta-
I apologize. Roll call, yeah.
Commissioner Badgerby,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Melinas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes.
Thank you. This will be an easy one. It's one rule. We have one final action for one rule, Division 4 Camp Communication amendments to OAR 845-004-0065 are needed to clarify, update, and modernize methods of communication between the OLCC and various stakeholders, including applicants, licensees, permittees, certificate holders, and alcohol server education providers, and introduce clear requirements about maintaining information in the online platform maintained by the OLCC and identify roles and responsibilities of users on the platform. The proposed amendments update communication methods to include email in some circumstances, establish requirements around the use of the online platform maintained by the commission, and expand the scope of the rule to apply to marijuana applicants, licensees, and permittees, and marijuana and hemp certificate holders.
Sure.
Commissioner.
I move to amend OAR 845-004-0065, effective 1/1/2026.
Should take the easy one.
Smart.
Moved
I'll take an easy second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? Questions? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Badgerby,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Melinas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. And with that, thank you very much. Thank you, first of all, thank you all for the work that went into this. I mean, we're complaining about having to read the 900 pages. You guys had to create that, and I so appreciate the work that you've done on this. This is excellent work, and anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, happy holidays. You will not see me
Happy
in
holidays.
December.
Thank you. We are adjourned.